Good afternoon, everyone. May I have your attention, please? Our EMI lecture is going to start. So, for the first EMI lecture of this semester, from design to delivery, practical approaches to EMI course implementation, to begin, let us invite Professor Shaoting Hong, our Chief Executive Director of the Office of Bilingual Education, to give the opening remarks and introduce our speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hong Shaoting. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Bilingual Education Initiative and also serve as the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. And I'd like to first of all welcome all of you to today's talk. As Ariel mentioned to you, this is the very first talk, EMI talk of the semester. Okay. Today's talk is very special, not only because it's the first one that kickstarts a series of EMI talks for this semester, but also because we have a wonderful, eloquent speaker, okay, in this talk. So I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce to you today's speaker. Professor Chen Yuguang is a professor from the National Central University, and he's affiliated with Department of Electrical Engineering. And his research interests include electronic design, automation, AI for physical design, and hardware security. Okay. And the reason why we invite Professor Chen to be our very first speaker of this semester is because he is a very well-organized speaker. In fact, we actually invited him to give a talk to our TAs in April. And you know what? His presentation is well received. We received a lot of positive comments from our TAs. For example, one of the TA mentioned, I think the tips that the speaker explained seemed really useful. One that really stood out to me was about engaging the class. It's easier to make students engage in multiple choice items rather than asking only one or two people to raise their hands. Okay? This is just like one example. Okay? We have a lot of positive comments. Okay? So it's really our honor to have Professor Chen Yuguang as the speaker again. And why don't you join me in welcoming Professor Chen.
Well, I very thank you, Professor Hong's introduction, and all distinguished professors and the TAs and also staffs. Welcome to the EMI talk. And I really appreciate that I can have the second opportunity to come here and share some of my little experience on the EMI course designing and teaching. And also in today's talk, I will try my best to deliver not only like how to design a course, but also how to make it practical in your class. So at the very beginning of the starting of my talk, let me have a very quick survey. How many of you have already offered the EMI course? Persons are hand. Right, appreciate. And how many of you are TAs in the EMI course? All right, great. And how many of you are not ready doing the EMI teaching now, but you're expected to do it in the future? Right, last 4 students or faculties who do not raise your hand, please raise your hand. Okay, you can remove your, just move your arms and you can make you wake up. Okay, so let me quickly go through the outline of today's talk. And by the way, I'm very happy to see a lot of you have already have some like EMI course teaching experience. And I believe this will be very, very good for you to follow in the talk, because some of the difficult points I mentioned in the talk probably you have encountered before. And also for those who just starting to planning with the EMI course or EMI TAs, and you also can have a quick view about what actually will happen in the EMI course. So in today's outline, I have to very quick introduce me and my EMI experience again, and following by discuss some difficulties I encountered when teaching EMI course in Taiwan. And after that, I have to mention one of like a very special EMI course design. It's like more theoretical design we call the ODIR. So how we can design, and followed by how we make it practical on our actual EMI course. And after that, actually, I'm lucky enough to be like the first batch of faculties in Taiwan to be sent by Fulbright USA to UCSD for EMI training. So I also want to share a little bit about my Fulbright Taiwan English language training program and what I learned from there. And after that, I also have some of my personal tips, and I would like to share with you how we can run an EMI. So quickly starting from my background, as just introduced by Professor Hong, I graduated from National Tsinghua University in the Department of Computer Science, but interestingly, actually, I'm now at the Department of EE. Yeah, and also I have the joint appointment at the National Tsinghua University at this time. And one important thing I want to share is actually I have a lot of international experience. And this the reason actually is not the case I would very like to do the research or very like to do a very good connection or something. But the real reason is I very like to travel around the world. I like to make friends and like to enjoy life and see different cultures around the world. So as you can see, for my background, when I was a student, I visited Beijing Tsinghua, and I also visited Kyoto University in Japan. And after that, very interestingly, I applied the program and tried to stay in the United States for like 1 year visiting student position. But unfortunately, also fortunately, my host, he moved to the other university when I arrived. So there is an opening, and I'm lucky enough to take the opportunity. So after that, I'd be a lecturer at the Department of ECE at the Missouri University of Science and Technology at Missouri. And after that, I get the other opportunity to be a research fellow at the University of Notre Dame. And after that, because I need to do the mandatory military service, so when I reach the age boundary, and I quit all the jobs and come back to Taiwan. But actually, I'm not doing my military service at Taiwan. I did a very interesting thing is I do the substitution service with ITC project at St. Kitts Nevis. It's one of like our friendly country around the world, and I serve as a project assistant to develop the hospital information system during that year. And after this international experience, I come back and started my faculty career from Yangtze University, Department of Computer Science, from 2017 to 2019, and after that I joined the National Central University. So actually, my EMI teaching, if you want to take a look, you should roll back to the time when I was at the United States. So for this opportunity, actually, I get a very very lucky to get a very good opportunity to do a lot of English presentation practice, and also I have to face the people from all around the world. So sometimes it's very difficult to understand different accents and different terms or different delivery ways from people who are different like cultural background with you. So actually at that time I learned a lot from how we can make the EMI course more interestingly. And in my personal opinion, for the EMI, actually, as you know, usually we say English is a medium of instruction, right? So most of people just thinking about EMI equals to teaching English. In my personal perspective, I would say it's not only limited to teaching English, but also you need to consider about what actually the culture behind the EMI and what kind of information you want to deliver behind the EMI course. So this is my, I just mentioned that when I was staying in the United States, I need to lecture where a student comes from various different backgrounds. And what most of the things I really like is to hang out with students. And usually we do the barbecue together during the lunchtime. And also there are some international days I'm lucky enough to hold our flags and showing around the world that we're from Taiwan. And also in the United States, this is one of the very beautiful lake nearby my campus. So this is a very relaxing place. And one of the very interesting experience I want to share with you as a starting of today's talk is about one very interesting experience I doing the lecture at the United States. Actually, that is the first time I tried to deliver things in English. Before that, or before I went to United States, I was appointed as a lecturer by Department of Computer Science, National Tsinghua, to teach undergraduate, elective course called Computer System and Applications. So during that time, I tried to teach students like different applications. For example, like how to use Microsoft Office efficiently, how to use the Google tools, and how to use, probably that time do not have ChatGPT, but also have some very basic, with a professional system there. And for that time, I just tried to use Chinese to deliver everything. But when I went to United States, it is, of course, it is important, or it is mandatory, we have to teach English. So I spent a lot of time to think about how we do the delivery. But actually, the talking English is not difficult. But how you can deliver your message accurately to people in different cultures is very difficult. So one actually very interesting thing I encountered is that there are so many students coming from worldwide. I remember one of the female students. She usually sit at the very front and work very hard. When I lecture her, she take a lot of notes. And I usually, when I finish a portion of the talk or a portion of the teaching, I will stop by and ask, do you have any questions? Usually in Taiwan it's quite silent, right? But in the United States, not the case. People will always raise their hand. They will ask a lot of questions. So first, the difficulty I encounter is people will come from different locations, different accents. You need to understand about that. For example, one India student probably will say, but I have no idea what the cube meaning. Can you explain it again? Or something like this. And usually it's very hard to get at your very fast batch. But I finally figured out that if you ask students talk slower, and you're trying to understand some of the keywords, actually you can catch up that. So this actually same experience will go to your student. So one of the things when you start teaching in EMI, and you figure out that your student probably not very engaged in the class, the first step is probably you can do it slow. So student need time to process, and student need time to, at the very beginning, they need time to translate back into Chinese and process the information and then get a knowledge. But if you go to like the middle of semester or even later, students get used to you talking or teaching things in English, it'll be much easier. You can translate what you get from English directly to the knowledge, and you can do a little bit speed up. So this is the first thing I learned. And the second thing, back to that very hardworking student. Anytime when I ask, do you have any questions? Or do you understand what I'm talking about? The student always shake her head. Also, I'm so worried about that. She always shake her head like, okay. So, do you have any questions? So she do like this way. And so I'm so worried about that. So do you understand? Oh, okay, I pretended I teach her very terrible, so she cannot understand everything. So after the course, at one opportunity, I stopped her and say, hey, do you think I teach very terrible? You just showed me you can understand everything. And surprisingly, that student told me, no, professor, you teach very well. I can get probably 90% or even more what you're talking about. So now I feel very confusing because the slides is coming down. Just kidding. Okay, so I feel very confusing is that since I always ask him, are you understand what I'm talking about? She shakes her head. But when I ask her, do you understand what I'm talking about? She said, yes. What happens there? So finally I figured out some culture, or actually in Taiwan culture, if you understand or say yes, how will move your head? Something like yes, this way, right? Yes, okay, I understand. And if you don't understand, you will say, no, I cannot understand, right? But in that culture, the case is that this is yes, and this is no. Can you tell the difference? Can you tell the difference? I do it again. This is yes, and this is no. Anyone tell me what are the difference between these two head moving? Anyone want to try? What is the difference? I see someone just trying to pick up the key information. Actually, the key information comes from where it is like, do not move your axis and just like left, right, or you move your entire head to like this way. So these are two things. So this is yes, and this is no. And in specific culture, actually it's come from India. This is no, and this is yes. So if you feel the student do not move his neck just like this way, this is yes. But it turns the neck, this is no. Okay? So this is very interesting things I learned for my first EMI class. And actually the second thing I encounter will be very challenging about the writing. Because my course asks students to write a homework. At that time, the computer typed homework is not very popular. So most of the students will just submit their handwriting results. So I get the document or get a class note like this way. And what is the difference between their writing and what we have learned in English? The idea is that most of Taiwan people will just learn like not the handwriting style, but a printed style. And for most of the native speakers in English, they learn how to use the like handwriting style. So you need to spend a lot of time to learn. Sometimes they write very quick, just like when you sometimes do writing like signature or something. It's hard to identify what actually they're writing about. So this is the second thing that I spend a lot of time to understand. So here are some of the two small stories, just let you know that when you are trying to teach in EMI, this is not just like to translate everything directly to English. Especially in your class, you may have international students or even you are international faculty. So you need to consider about actually the culture behind and how you can make your audience more engaged, and you should understand your student more based on like different culture. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to share. And now I think let's move to the second part. Then I have to apologize that for the second part, the slides, partial of the slides will be in Chinese, because I want to show like a raw data about our questionnaire survey from students after the class, but I will try to explain it in English. So what actually the difficulties I encountered when teaching EMI at the very, very beginning, especially when at the United States. So the most challenging thing is, okay, by the way, I need to say, I currently, my EMI courses, we have a large group for undergraduate student programming, and also for like mid-sized group for graduate student. But the most difficult things I want to mention is this one. I'm so worried about I don't have a very good English ability. So when I applied the visiting student position in the United States, I'm not the one who get like 120 for the TOEFL or something. Yeah, so actually I do not have a very, very good English skill, especially for very professional or like very technical English writing or English presentation or something. But it is important that EMI, in EMI course, English actually is not the main thing you want to teach to your student. English is just a medium for you to teach with your students. So the most important thing is not you have to make a very strict grammar, you have to use very beautiful words, or need to make it as a pronoun or something to make it everything is very beautiful. But the most important thing is that you need to deliver important knowledge to your student. So this is a key point. So at the very beginning, I'm so worried that I don't have a very good English, especially my speaking at that time is pretty poor. But do not forget one important thing is that your student probably also don't have such a good English ability. In EMI course, this is nothing that we want to practice or to polish our English like 100%. But it is like you have a like environment, you have a like the opportunities for students to listen English more and use English to get the knowledge you want to deliver. So more important thing is that how you can make your student more easily to catch up the information instead of you need to use like 100% perfect America-based English to do the delivery. So this is one thing I need to say. So here, I would like to show, as just I mentioned, I have two courses. One is Introduction to Programming, and the other one is Cat for Video Science, like graduate level course. So let's take a look for the undergraduate level course questionnaire survey first. So this is the elective reason, so why student will try to select your course. The most of students actually, because this is a requirement course, so they need to take. And here are some detailed questionnaires showing that, for example, how you understand your course and how we do good at some innovative teaching methodologies. And also we have one, the block is about EMI. And as you can see, in my class, most of them actually I can get a very high score. The total score is 5. 5 means that you completely agree with that, and 1 is you completely do not agree with that. And as you can see, marked in the orange color, this means I can use English to attend class discussion and activities. As you can see, this is below 3. So it means that most of students actually, they don't have very strong confidence, or even they cannot doing activities during class with English. And also, you can see the student who select 2 means disagree, and 1 is strong disagree for the EMI part. You can see here EMI part. There are a huge number of students, they don't agree that I can understand what teacher teaches in EMI, what I can understand the knowledge with English delivering. And some students also disagree that if you use English to offer the course, it can improve my technical English ability. So as you can see, actually most of students actually don't have a very positive comments for EMI. And here just give you some learning difficulties. So as you can see here, we got a 64, it's more than half. It's like 52.9. Showing that I cannot understand your English teaching. So this is student give me the feedback. By the way, the other high is that the assignment is too difficult to finish. Yeah, so this is the 2 major things for students feel very difficult. And we take a detailed look about the English ability difficulties. Students actually give 4 main reasons why they do not like English course. So first one is that they cannot understand English. Probably the reason comes from the lecturer like me. I don't have a very native speaking or very native accent with the United States English. And also some students say, okay, this is like a professional knowledge limited. Because I don't have a very strong background about the knowledge part. This is a programming. So some of students, they completely don't have any experience about programming. So they need to learn new things. So the new things is the knowledge one. And if they don't have a very good English ability, even English itself is the new thing for them to learn. So one of the students gave me a very interesting comment. He told me that, sir, when I take the EMI course, what I'm feeling is like I use the Mars language to learn how animals stay alive in the moon. So this is something like this. 2 things are new things, and you have completely no idea about that. So it will make people feel very, very difficult with a very limited like professional knowledge behind. And third thing actually comes from concentrate. So the idea is that some student, because I always recorded my video course lecture, and I will give this like recorded video for students so they can look the video or watch the video again and again if they want after the class, just in case they miss the important turns during the EMI course. But the student told me, okay, so when I try to watch the video, if it is in Chinese, I can have 100% concentrate. But it is in English, I cannot. I have no idea why. I will always try to open your video and also open the other, like singers' video or some movies behind. So the idea is that they always think they cannot concentrate. And anytime I look at your video, anytime I learn new things. So it makes me, like entire learning is very inefficient. So students give me this kind of feedback. And what is the worst case is this way? So some of students actually, they have very, very low confidence level about their English. So they're so worried about that they don't have a very good English ability. So that they refuse to learn from EMI. So from the deep of their heart, they reject anything delivering English. So I think this will be the most difficult things when you try to teach an EMI course. Because one student think, oh, why you need to use EMI is because you want to get me into trouble. But some students will have this kind of thought. They think you are just putting me into a trouble. Why not use Chinese teach? Why use English teach? Okay, you just see me, you feel uncomfortable, so you just play trick on me. So you always teach English. So this is not what I want. So I refuse to learn. So they will give a very negative loop, and this is very bad things. So at last, it will turn out that the student refuse to learn this course. They're afraid of going to the class. They're afraid of watching videos. So they did a very bad job during the exam. They do not submit their homework, and finally he or she fails this course. And next year is EMI again. So actually, your student will accumulate it, but they don't have motivation to learn. So this is a very, very terrible situation. And also for the graduate level course, we actually encountered or we observed some very similar situation. For example, if the course teaching English will help my learning, actually the score is less than 3. And also, this course offered in English can help my learning progress. Actually, this is also very low. So not only undergraduate students, but also graduate students sometimes will encounter difficulties during the EMI. And here, as you can see, a graduate level student probably will be a little bit better than undergraduate student in my previous experience. In this course, you can see that 44% of students say, I'm good, I'm fine with the EMI course. It's almost half. And they say I can use English to do almost 80% of the tasks or missions during the class. But unfortunately, there still be like 16% of students who don't have ability to finish their course mission. So they need some extra supporting when they join the EMI course. And also, if we give students to select what actually are the major difficulties for learning this course, actually 52% students think it is because of the EMI. And again, of course, there are some students think that because the homework is too difficult. So this is like an attribute or characteristic of my course. So you can see that actually for the EMI will be a very big trouble or will significantly impact the student learning situation. But you can, by the way, you can take a little bit more deeper. As you can see, some students are showing they completely don't have ability to use English. So they say, okay, it can improve my English, but it's very limited because I'm too bad. And also some students are showing that, okay, my English ability is terrible. So please forgive me about my stupid questions. Or some students say, okay, I'm interested in this course, but when you offer the English, I only can catch up 70% of the knowledge. And also some students showing, okay, for professional subjects, actually, it is very difficult to get everything English. Please use Chinese and something like that. And also the similar thing, a lot of students showing that they cannot understand why you need to offer EMI course. Especially for some class, entire students are native students, like the Taiwanese students. They don't have any international students. Of course, it's quite straightforward. If you have international students, you use English to lecture, it is easy to convince the other students. But some EMI course actually, all enrolled students are native Chinese speakers. So they will have a question, why you just use the Chinese, and sometimes say, do not use English, I will be crazy. Or even they cannot understand why you use EMI. If you would like really think about let students learn something in the first place, you should use Chinese instead of English. So these are some comments from students. So let me put everything together. So this is the difficulties I encountered in my class. So students, they don't want or they're not able to engage in my courses because they, first at the very, very beginning, is they completely have no idea why we need to use EMI. So this is like a big the trouble, as most of you are the faculty. So as you know that when we do the research, when we do the investigation, the very, very beginning, probably you need to find a motivation, right? But if students don't have motivation, they have no idea about why you use EMI, they will just think about you doing something mean to them. Then actually, they will have a very strong rejection from their heart. So this is very difficult to do follow-up things. And of course, some students will be afraid of using English, or some will have difficulty to learn new things in English, or even some students have very limited English ability, even they successfully get into Taiwan Tech. I know Taiwan Tech is a very high-ranked school, so most of students probably, when you do the entrance exam, you need to have such an English level. But still, a very limited number of students, they will have like very not strong English abilities there. So, and the other problem is that when most of the student complains, it becomes a problem. If only some of students complain why EMI, but majority of the class think, okay, so I think that it convinced me that learning using English can do me something better. So they will try to convince the other students. It'll be good. But the problem is that if the majority of the students think you are doing something mean to them using EMI, then actually the entire class will not be a very, go into the successful direction. So this will be a very big problem. So, in my personal idea is that, what is the key solutions for the students to engage in EMI course? The very beginning or the very important things you need to do is explain the reason for teaching EMI. You have to spend some time to discuss with students or let students know clearly why EMI is important. What can help you for your entire either career life or even in your lifetime long experience. What is the importance of the English? What English can be a rule in your entire life? Then you have to create a cordial atmosphere. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of that? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Give a try, give a try. If you raise your hand, I can give you a bonus, but I only can write it on the board. Okay, so you can see almost no people raise their hand, right? But if you try to make a slight change, create a comfortable environment. Do you know the meaning of comfortable environment? If you know the meaning, show me 1. If you cannot understand meaning, show me 2. Let me do it. 1, 2, 3. Show me 1 or 2. Show me 1 or 2. Good, 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 good. Yeah, most of you can show me 1. That is pretty good. So as you can see, do not use some like very beautiful key, vocabularies, but they are not frequently used, or they are not different, or they are not very easy for your student to understand. So from the very beginning until now, you probably will figure out that when I try to give a talk in English, I'll try to use most simple words. And honestly, I only have a very, very simple and very basic vocabulary in my mind. So when you're teaching an EMI, you have to remember, try to make everything simple. do not consider about you need to use very long sentence, very beautiful. You can say, this is important. Where it is something, you use a very beautiful sentence. This is good for your article, for your journal papers, your conference papers, but not in English-based courses. When you do the deliver things, you try to make everything very clear. So try to create a very comfortable environment. And also, what I just did is one of the teaching methods. When you're trying to ask students to raise their hands or to stand up, answer questions, sometimes students will feel very stressful. But if you just give like two choices and let them show 1 or 2 or 3, they don't feel very stressed. They just try to give you like some feedback. And once you get feedback, you should have a very quick idea about how many students are still with you, how many students are still follow your class. And when you see there are some students already offline, okay, or some students do not have any actions, one of the very easy way I can do is I can just jump into some small activities. I will go to show later. So once the students jump into activities, they will come back and enjoy your course, and after that you can continue to do the deliver again. Okay, so back to the key solutions. And the third thing is you have to point out a way to improve English ability in the field of course. If the student is in the case they willing to learn but have no idea how to learn, or they have no idea how to improve English in some very specific domain. So this is very important. You have to point out a way. And of course, this is what I mentioned. What I actually did is like a very minor level interactive teaching. It's like just not like the case I'm talking and student listening. You need to have a lot of interactions in between. And also, the other important thing is that you need to build trust and also build confidence for students. So anytime when students try their best to answer questions, no matter he or she give right answer or wrong answer, try to give a positive feedback at the very beginning. So this is very important. You know that if I ask a question and then ask you to raise your hand, why most of the students don't raise their hand? This is because of the cultures in Taiwan. A lot of students are just afraid of, I give a wrong answer, I will get in trouble. My classmates will laugh at me. The teacher will think that I'm not a good student, so I had better not to perform any action. So this is actually not good for your class, right? So in my class, what I did is a bonus system. I have a very wide bonus system. It's like anytime you even ask me a question or answer a question, or even you come to the stage and share a fun thing of your life today, then I can give you a bonus. So you use these kind of different methodologies to let students they are willing or they are starting trying talking English and trying to talk it in front of people. And once one student comes, 2 students come, 3 students comes, then the entire class will see, okay, this is a very comfortable environment. No one will laugh at me, even I can tell nothing. And by the way, I also still get a bonus. So this is very good. So students will try to take actions, and your class will be very interesting. And of course, the other important thing is that you need to build a very strong TA team, because especially for some lab courses, the TA will play a very important roles. So you need to build your TA team and let your TA have the corresponding ability when you are running some activities during EMI. So this is very important. And here, just give you one example is about how I convince my student why we need to use EMI. So one thing is that, as I just mentioned, I'm not a guy who are very dedicated at academic, but I'm a guy very concentrated or put a lot of my efforts on how to get fun things, how to get good foods, and how to travel around the world. So I frequently show a lot of beautiful pictures during the break or during the starting or the beginning of the course. So let students know that why you need to learn English. For example, actually I'm one of the Taiwan representatives for Taiwan Joint IC project. So how you can be this kind of representative? How you can know the big guys in the Czech Republic? Of course, you need to talk to them, right? And of course, when you need to talk to them, you need to learn English, right? So this is one of the reasons you need to learn. So this is like a big goal. And some students do not buy your big goal. So unless I can show you about this one. Now, imagine that you have good opportunity to travel to the United States. You want to order a very delicious breakfast or brunch. Do you know how to say this? Then the student will say, oh, actually I have no idea. Then you need to practice your English, right? Of course, in the course, probably we will not frequently see like the French toast or sausage or eggs in your book when you are learning in programming course. But actually, sometimes when you describe your problems or exercise, you can add these materials in, so the student can get the things from here. So just showing them a lot of my international experience one by one, and the student will feel, okay, so this gives me the reason I should learn some English. Then I should have the ability to have the communication ability or discussion ability to foreign people. So this gives me the reason I need to learn. And one of the way can improve my listening or even sometimes the speaking is EMI course. So, okay, so I buy it. So you need to, actually this is only one example that you can convince your student to engage in EMI course. And you can think about, they may have various different ways to make your student to enjoy or even to starting to willing to learn things from English. So this is one thing. And also, the other important thing is about the supporting. This is very important. So, as I just mentioned, as you can see in the questionnaire survey, a small portion of students, probably 16% or even more, they actually will far away from the regular course because they don't have a good English ability. So my personal perspective is that you should provide sufficient supporting. For example, I always provide the EMI course recorded videos for them. If you cannot catch things one time or one shot during the class, no worries. When you go back, you still have an opportunity to get the videos, and you can watch it anytime you want. And one important thing is that now the students are getting used to watch short videos, not the long videos. If you give students like 1 hour, 30 minutes videos, probably no one will click and watch it. But how about you try to clip it in the short videos, each probably 10, 15 minutes, concentrate on one interesting ideas or one key concepts or one grammar in the programming. So students probably, they wait for the bus, they go into the toilet, or they waiting for the dish, they can just watch one by one. So very interestingly, I did some statistic analysis about my YouTube channel about if I do a long video or a short video, the short video get much more attention about the long videos. This is one thing. And the second thing is that, do not forget, in the rule of EMI, actually, they encourage you to use English like probably 70% or even more during the class. But they do not limit it that you can use Chinese after the class. So what I did is I also provided my previous videos, which was lecturing English after the class. I will not provide it before the class, because if you provide it before the class, students will just watch the video, they come to the class, right? So what I did is I asked students to come, and you need to learn from EMI as your first batch. But if you still feel this is painful, no worries, when you go back, you have the other supporting materials. You can just pick up the portion that you feel very difficult and try to use Chinese to understand the knowledge. And if you still have time, go back and watch the English version video again, so you have an idea how actually this portion can be explained in English. So this is one thing I frequently do for my students. Also, in a questionnaire survey, most of students very appreciated that we have short videos, we have a dual English version and a Chinese version videos. And also, the other thing is about a positive learning experience. I just mentioned, actually I did a lot of, we call interactive teaching. For example, sometimes we use Kahoot to have what we call gaming teaching. So I play a game and I put a very important concepts inside the gaming slides or the gaming questions, and make students to group in two. The limitation is that they only can speak English, but you do not need to speak to entire class, but speak to your classmates. And now, two of you will be a team and start the Kahoot game. And top 5 teams, actually you get bonus. So students will concentrate and they will feel fun. And you know, when you play the Kahoot, they will have ranking, right? Dynamic ranking for after any questions. So students will feel this is very interesting things. And also for graduate level course, probably sometimes use a group discussion, and I will join their group discussion only English. And also I invited them to come to the stage to share their findings in English. But this time I will not give like a 100% requirement for English. If you have difficulty, you still can use Chinese, but try your best to use English. So as you can see, if some students try to use English, the other students would like to follow, and finally you will figure out the percentage of English the student use will increase. So this is the one thing I will show. And also the other thing is I usually do the cold calling. What is cold calling? Cold calling means that you do not ask the student to get prepared, but sometimes they will be selected and answer some specific questions. This we call cold calling. 就是冷的这个呼叫 cold calling. So I have a lucky drawing system, and sometimes when I start in a course, I will quickly use some questions to refresh the memories. I will use the cold calling. And once I use the cold calling, what I did is, okay, if you can answer a question in Chinese, you get 1 bonus. If you can use English, double bonus. If you cannot answer questions, no worries, come to the stage, to share some fun things or to share a joke, you get a bonus. So there's no hurt to students' score. No matter what option the student choose, they always can get bonus. So this will create a more comfortable environment, and also use bonus to encourage students. Not use like if you don't answer the correct, I will give you -1, and if you don't use English, I'll give you -2 or something. Always use positive things, not the minus things. So students will willing to get more things instead of they will be punished if they cannot use English. So this is kind of the difficulty I encountered when teaching EMI in Taiwan. So far so good. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
You teach in a large class, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, because in your system you require a lot of keeping records, and whoever gets bonus, who didn't get a bonus.
Yeah.
You will do that, or you have a TA?
Yeah, this is a very, very, very important question. Actually, I do the dual real things. The first one is that I have a TA in the class, but I will not ask TA to record every the students speaking, because the students always speaking, and sometimes I may have 20 or even 30 bonus at one class. So what I did is that we based on the honest system. So I will ask the student to come up to the stage to write their student ID, their name, and how many bonuses you get.
In the end of the
But yeah, in the end of the class. But I will always tell a story to the student. All of our class we have a recording. So I will randomly check. If you give the cheating during the bonus, you will not only lose your bonus but lose the entire course. So I will let students know these things. So until now, I actually never catch students who fake the bonus. Yeah, because this is not words. I actually catch a student copy others' code. This is quite frequently happened. But I never catch a student to cheating on the bonus one. That because bonus is extra. And the student, if they answer, they will have a little recording. But I use this system to do the record. Yeah, very good question. Yeah. Any others? Good. Or if not, we still have 40 minutes. Very good. So now I need to go a little bit like more theoretical things, I want to introduce one very interesting things we call the ODIR, and this is one of the course design ideas about how actually you can design your EMI course. So what is ODIR? Let me give you 3 options. First one, orientation, delivery, interaction, recap. Second one, official department of infinitive revisions. It's like writing journal, right? Third one, overdose of deadlines, instant rush. So which one? Give me the answer. 1 or 2 or 3. Raise your hand and give me the answer. Give me the answer. 1 or 2 or 3. I should the answer, right? Good, good. Thank you very much. Actually, what is ODIR here actually is orientation, delivery, interaction, and recap. What is this? Actually, this is the way that you can design your interactive class. And I would say that especially for EMI courses, if you just do the one-way delivery, actually it is not very useful because some students even they listen to English like listening sleeping songs. And in the middle of the class, sometimes students will fall asleep. So usually what we did is that we do ODIR, and the first idea for the orientation is that you should raise the motivation of students to let students know why we need to discuss this. And you probably can have a very quick question like what I just did. I just give a question for you to answer, or we can do some Kahoot. And the student probably can do discussion or raise hand or pair cards, but actually for the pair cards it's difficult at a large class, but a small classroom. Yeah, and also we use English to have questions, and we have videos, and also let students to answer. So this is all ultimate orientation. And next one is D. D is like longer things. The D means that you need to concentrate to explain the detailed things. This is like delivery, regular delivery. But usually when I do delivering, one important thing, especially in EMI, is you need to try to use some real examples that happens in students' life to explain a more complicated stories or situations. For example, when I'm doing my programming class, sometimes we need to mention what is the standard library and what we need to include library and how we can use the library. The library is something like that already written a portion of the code that you can directly use it. And for me, I would say, okay, so when we're doing this, it's like when you are trying to build your new bedroom. Actually, you do not need to build your bed by yourself, right? If you get a new room, just like you just move into your dormitory, some already built things there. But anytime you need to sleep, you will not directly jump into the hardwood-based the bedboard, right? You need to put some pillows on. You need to put some blankets on, covers on to make it more comfortable. So this is the way that how we can use the already developed the functions or libraries, and you have to add it on what your personal customized code, and you can make the code run like this way. So you need to think about what actually is the most most frequently or the most recently students have the experience, especially at the very beginning of the semester. They just moving back into the dormitory, so they have a very strong feeling about this part. So try to deliver with examples, and also if you can have figures, you can have tables, you can have pictures, even you have some movies or some short videos, will be much better than just anything's word. Then the second one is the interaction. The interaction is you need to do the pair, you need to think pair share, and you need to let students to do something. And this part I think is very important. And of course, when you are in very large class, sometimes you'll be very very rushed, or you sometimes cannot take care of all students. But you still need to try to create some this kind of environment that students to do the practice. I will show you how to do that later. And the last one, you need to recap and make everything and conclude. So these are things we call the ODIR. And if you only have limited time, probably you can use 1 minute, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute for one concept. But actually, when I personally apply, when I not follow this, I actually follow the stories. Like I use the entire picture for the entire class to do like the 4 steps here. So I also give you the other new concept is we call the 5W1H. I believe some of you probably have known this before. The idea is that when you are trying to talking some stories or you like try to discuss some things, you need to get a quick idea about who, what, when, where, why, and how. So this is kind of the key materials or like key concepts that when you are trying to deliver idea. For example, I want to introduce again the library in the code. So I have to say, actually, who need to use the library, how you can use the library, why need we use the library, so on and so forth. So actually, you can have like the different purpose and who is to clarify the rule of responsible parties, what is understand the issue or situation, and when is determined timeline or sequence, what is actually their connections, and where is understanding the context or settings of the delivery context, and why you need to analyze courses or motivations, and how is you have to understand the methods or process, or how to do that. So now I give you 2 different type of knowledge or different type of structures you can design your course. One is what I did is the ODIR, and the second one is 5W1H. And actually, when you build your course, you can mix them together. For example, here I'm just showing the 5W1H example for the Titanic situation. So you can see you can see how many passengers actually aboard the Titanic, what happens if they hit the ice bridge, and when is like the 1920, and where is the North Atlantic Ocean, and why is because actually they use a very high speed to hit the iceberg, and how actually you know what happens at the end of the tragedy of the Titanic, right? So this is kind of the way when you are talking a story. So anytime when you designing a course, probably you can think about it's like, actually you can put ODR and the 5W1H together. You try to use the ODIR procedure to design your course, but trying to give students like what actually you have to deliver the concept of 5W and 1H into each stage. So now, I think it's your time. We need to ask you to do a very small group discussion. I can give you like probably 5 minutes. And you have 4 missions. The mission is that for the ODIR stage, one of the stage, by the way, I have to ask, is there anyone have questions about the ODIR? You can raise your hand and ask the question right now. If you have no idea, I would suggest you that the other good way to learn is ChatGPT. So in my course, I open ChatGPT. If you need, you can just ask ChatGPT. They will give you more details about ODIR. And what I'm going to do is, please think about it. For each step, what actually would the 5W1H should happen? And can you give me some example activities you can do with the 5W1H? So from now I will give you 5 minutes, and since we have this classroom is not very good for group discussion, right? But you still have someone sit either at your right hand side or left hand side or at your back or at your front. Try to get one partner with you, okay? And we do a very quick discussion for 5 minutes. Let's start. Actually, when we perform this kind of thing, like this kind of exercise, 2 things are important. Yeah, the first is things you need to have the timer. And you always remember that you need to put a timer on your screen. For example, if we have I think it's not this one. Let me show you. There is another internet page. This is, I think, is very good. So we have 5 minutes, so we can start the 5 minutes here. Yeah, and the second thing is that usually I have a group of TA, right? TA will play a very important role at this time. Go around the classroom, pick up the students who don't fit in the group and put them together. So I believe all you are very experienced students will have no idea what is the task, right? So in this case, you need to go back and go a very detailed explanation. So here the task is that we have a ODIR stage, right? And also we know that we have a 5W1H explanation ways, right? And if you want to put it together, what kind of 5W1H you think you should discuss at orientation, you should discuss at delivery, you should discuss at interaction, and you should discuss at review. So what are the corresponding matches? And can you give an example activities here? So how you can use the activities to let students engage with a different stage of the class. Is it clear? Is it clear? Good, good, good. Okay. Probably I need to reset it. My bad. So probably we need to reset the clock again. Otherwise we don't have time to discuss, right? 5 minutes. Let's start. Let's start. Right. Let's take a try. Let's take a try. And for all the staff, please help to group the faculties to be a small group. I think something read my bill, and of course we have to come back and see the potential solutions here. So I believe all of you, I think you are all very good actually. At the very beginning, so worry about some of you will just stay in the corner, keep quiet, and pretend nothing happened. I cannot see anyone cannot see me. But in the case in your class, you are all very perfect. So this is the other way you can encourage your student. Okay, and of course, during this kind of discussion, one key idea is that you need a lot of TAs come into your classroom, and you need to let us, the TA, help to the discussion. So the other important thing is you need to build your TA team. Here we go.
What is the strategy if you don't have enough TA?
Yeah.
Two things. First one, let TA feel they are very successful during their job. So this, I think, is the most important thing. And then, of course, one TA resource actually comes from volunteer TA. And the volunteer can be recruited by the previous class who did a very good job for them. Because they already played it again. And as you know, ladies, sometimes even undergraduate students very, very good for being a TA because they need to apply for their like graduate school or even study abroad or something. They need an experience. Right? So you can convince them. But of course, I would say volunteer TA is not a good thing. So second thing is funding. You need to get a lot of funding to support your TA. So actually, there are a lot of fundings from like EMI projects, Ministry of Education. So I get a lot of from them. And at my very beginning starting time, actually, I got supported from our education center, 教发中心. Yeah, so they actually support me. Not a huge money. It's like only like 20,000 or something, but I of course I can divide it into TAs and ask the TA to do things, and it actually needs time to build the entire TA team. For me, my experience like 3 to 5 years, and you can build a very strong TA team. And once you have a strong TA team, it will be a positive loop. The other students see they do a very good job, they will willing to join. So even now in my cases, I need to review the TA backgrounds and to select the best people to join me. Okay, so this is one thing. Very good question, very good question. So let me go back to this part. So as you can see, actually, when I actually during discussion, I walk through a couple of groups and I will figure out some groups thinking, hey, actually, this is one idea, this work clear, and actually 5W1H, they can be integrated in a very different way. And honestly, this is not like the exact solution answer, so you can provide different kind of solutions. So at the beginning, probably for me, for example, for the orientation, I will show you one possible way is you can think about what, why, and the who. For example, because the key purpose of orientation is to active prior knowledge and set the context and let students know what is going on happens later. So probably you can ask the students, what do you already know why this is important, who is involved based on different subjects. So this is one thing you can do. And now, I would like to find some volunteers to give me your discussion results about delivery. Again, we have a bonus system, do not forget it. So, anyone you want to try for the second one? I think this is not very difficult, right? So how about give me a little bit comments about that? Perfect, thank you so much. And may I have your name?
Okay, my name is Shoji.
Shoji, thank you, Shoji. Okay.
Right, so me and my teammate, we sort of do it the other way back. We decided the topic we are going to talk about is ChatGPT. So for the delivery, we think about, okay, this is about large language model, right? So this is the theoretical framework we are going to deliver. So in terms of, where it's coming from, what is large language model, and then compared to others, and why it's different from others.
Where it's from,
yeah,
why, and what is that,
yeah,
and why
it's different from other AI.
Yeah, perfect. So as you can see in this group, they did a very good job. Is they try to find one specific subject, for example, ChatGPT, right? And they use this subject to think about the entire story, will make the entire thing be more concrete. And of course, you can easy to follow, right? Let's give them a big hand. They did a very good job. And by the way, do not forget to write your student ID and your name on the board after the class. I believe our team will give you some special awards, right?
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah. So actually, they give a very, very good answer. As you can see, why, when, and what. Actually, they use what actually be, and they ask actually delivery why. But this is just like one simple answers. They all did a very good answers there. So for example, you can explain what happened, when, where, and how. So based on their case, probably they will deliver like why we need GDP, and what is GPT, and why we need GDP, and how it works. And this is a very good answer for embedded 5W1H. So here, actually two things. First one is that when you're walking around, you need to figure out for some potential students. And actually, one thing I did during this process is like actually I walk into one group and try to ask them, it is possible for you to share your idea? Sometimes students say, yes, this is very lucky for you. So you know, this we call hot calling. Because students aware, they will be called and they are happy to answer. But in today's case is like a student said, no, do not put me in the front of the line. So what I will do is, okay, no problem, but I will try to share their idea at the very beginning at my side. Yeah, so this is what I did. So there are actually different ways that you can manage like interactions with your students. So one important thing during this kind of like mimic discussion or like the simple discussion can show you that when you are trying to do EMI, a couple important things that trying to get questions, and you need to have a career definition. And second thing is that you need to have a very good timer. And then during discussion, try to use your TA and avoid some students who do not have join the discussion. And one very easy way is that if you find someone don't have discussion, invite them to come with you. You form a group, you discussion with him. And after that, ask him come with you to the stage back. And then he will start sharing. Because you deliver a knowledge, he will be a very confidence. And doing this a couple of times, actually the student will know, okay, if I don't find a team member, I will be a team member of TA, of the professor. And some students will happy to do that, some students will not. And if they not, they will find a group member. So it will help you to do the like perfect discussion. Unfortunately, due to time limitation, I need to skip the following discussions, but I believe you should have some good experience on this one, right? So before I finish the entire big picture, I need to show you my solution. So this is the way if you don't have time to do discussion. And anytime remember, when you're doing that group discussion, always remember timing control is very important. And the worst case is that you actually cannot finish everything, but you still ask students to deliver their knowledge. And finally, you extend your class. Because some students will bump into the other class for like only 10 minutes break. So this is very important. You need to cut everything on time. Yeah, this is an important thing. So in my case, actually, for the interaction, probably I will show who, why, how, For example, who caused the issue, what did it happen, and how can it be solved? And for the review probably will be, okay, so what did we learn? What is the entire picture? And why it is useful? And how we will use it again? And of course, this can be a loop situation, as mentioned by a hidden group. They tell me, okay, so actually after a review, you probably can provide one of the new questions and you can jump into orientation again. So resolve this problem and what is the next one and why we need to consider about the next one, and you can have a continuous loop like that way. Alright, so this is another example just showing you for my logic design courses, but due to time limitation I skip this because I believe most of you will not teach logic design, right? Okay, so actually for the entire procedure, you are not only the students, you are not only the audience, but you are also the class observators. So what actually for the 5W and the 1H, you can directly apply it in the class or in the what happens to you just a couple minutes ago. So actually, who I'm really care about, this is the first things. When you discuss, you care about the answer from your teammate, or you care about the answer from professor, you care about the entire the group, how to judge you, and for what teaching methodologies I use. So you can think about what actually I did. And when I talk and when I give time for students, so this is kind of like the strategy. So usually it's like when the students start in the class, they have a very strong concentration, so you can have delivery in the very beginning. But after that, you probably need to see if some of the students are slowing down. You need to, even just like me, I just walk here, right? If I do the walking, you will see some people will move in their vision from left side to this side. Actually, you can get some attention of your students. And of course, if you see most of the students feel sleeping, jump into activities. And then where I provide an exercise and why we need this discussion and how was your experience. So this is also the 5W1H for you. You can think about the exercise what we did today. Alright, so we only have 50 minutes left. So finally I'm going to give you some idea about the Fulbright English training program I actually learned. So this is like a very good opportunities that the Fulbright Taiwan and I think it's the Ministry of Education, they have a partnership project. Any year they will select it. I'm not sure for my that time probably 20 faculties, but now it's like much more numbers. And they will send you to one of the U.S. universities. I was sending to UCSD, and what I know is they have Columbia, they have the University of Maryland, they also have UC Davis or some different universities to do the EMI training. So I'm curious, how many of you have attended that kind of training before? None of you? Oh, here, okay. We see Professor Hong has tried, right? Can you quickly share your experience about that project?
It was actually 1 year after you.
Okay.
So we kind of went through pretty much a similar thing.
That's good, that's good. So as you can see, actually during these projects, there's like a 2-week program. So any day they have a different subjects. At the morning time they discuss some teaching materials, teaching methodologies, but in more like theoretical ways. So they give examples. And very, very interesting thing is that for me, I'm lucky enough. For that time, my speaker is Patricia. I'm not sure it's the same guy with you or not. But that one actually is I think the voice team of the like the 教务处 or something, I forget. So she actually do every course with activities and with a couple of fun things, and she demonstrates so many detailed things about, for example, how to point 1 or 2 and how to walk to keep students concentrate. What is cold calling? What is hot calling? Something during their lecture. So actually, that lecture makes me feel so tired. It's not only learn theoretical, but you need to do a lot of activities. But luckily, for that time, because I'm not an education background, so I reset myself as like the students who are know everything. So I feel very strong that, for example, sometimes they use very technical terms I can't understand. And sometimes most of the people were not asking, so you will just let it go. And actually, this is the main problem for students because they miss one or two important vocabulary, so they miss the entire chapter. Yeah, so finally we figure out actually it's important to make your own dictionary to make your learning more smooth or something like that. And for the afternoon time, they will not just lecture. So for the afternoon time, we jump into some classes. We do the class observation. We discuss with some very successful already professors to learn how to do the teaching. And of course, finally, I need to do a presentation. And of course, we need to get a certificates. And this is a Patricia. She always discuss with students like this way. And by the way, for the UCC experience, the most impressive experience is not a lecture, but this one. At the very first day, at a very early morning, they organized a walking tour around the campus. But it's a heavy raining day. So we have very romantic walking tours there. Yeah, and also we jump into the cafeteria. They have a very beautiful library. And even I myself, I also participated into some like student activities afterwards. They have things we call the language table. It's like they have different tables and they have a table chair, and where chair is like different language native speakers. So you can learn or you can exchange your language skills across the entire language table. So I jump into one Japanese table and learn a couple Japanese there. Yeah, and also we observe a big class, flipped classroom. So actually this classroom gives me the confidence that I also can do big flipped classroom in Taiwan. Yeah, for that faculty, he always provided problems as students to discussion like what we did just a couple minutes ago. And after that, the faculty will always try to find some student to answer a question. But before that, he will always drink the water like me. And he also drink one more. And then find a student come to the stage to get a solution. Well, this part is just kidding because I want to drink the water. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and here are some detailed things. Very quick go through is very important at the very beginning of your semesters. You need to ice breaking. What ice breaking is let students know you and let you know the students. Easy to do a small class, but hard to do a big class. So you need to have some, personally, this is my personal perspective, you need to prepare one thing we call the show course. Show course means that you did a very good job on the first class, so you can attract students' attention. So at the very beginning shot will give a student a very good impress about your teaching. And of course you need to have some questionnaires to let students know their background, so you can easily design or adjust your course. And of course you need to give student, by the way, for the student engagement, it's like joint activities, write homework for something. Remember that always trying to give students different choices and keep fairness, and then you can build a trust. So what is give students different choices? For example, during discussion, I ask the student, hey, you can find someone group together with you. Probably two of them, but actually some students get 3, get 4. I'm totally fine with that. And usually I have a lot of bonus opportunities. The bonus means that it's not required, you are not enforced to do, because no one likes to be enforced to do something or required to do something. But if there's option to you will feel much comfortable. Yeah, so this is one thing. And also you can use case studies and you can use groupings to do that. And for mathematical simulations, of course, you need to have different ways to do like more technical things. But unfortunately, I don't have time to cover this part. If you're interested, I have the other talk, especially focus on this way. And one more important thing I need to say, in my course, I usually have a couple of classes that will use flipped classroom. Usually, people think about flipped classroom is like, okay, I just give you the video, and students come back to see the video, and that's all. But actually, it's not the case. So as you can see, here is the slides I catch from the UCSD training. So this is very interesting. This is the brain wave of some of the students. As you can see, for the first day, this is a lab. This is homework. Homework have a huge up down, and sleep a little bit slide, and this is class like this way. For first day, it's like this way. And then for second day, as you can see, lab is here, homework is here, but sleep has more higher, so probably they have a very good dream, right? And after that, for the class, it's still like the line. And for the third day, same thing happens. Sleeping will always give a huge flip. And for the fourth day, again, the class is like the flat things or something like that. So here, just give you an idea is like, if you always delivering things at one side, the student brain will be like this. And I always believe this part should be happen in the class, and this one should happen in the bed when the student go back into their dormitory. So that's the reason we did a lot of flipped classroom. We did a lot of activities, and we asked the students to do discussions, so the student will have a good idea about how we can make everything like better, and the student can learn together. And also here I just mentioned that you need to cut in short, and also you need to do the video watch analysis. By doing this way, you can easily to figure out which part usually students encounter like most difficult things, and of course you can emphasize that in your next class. And also, anytime I always have a recap slides after the flipped classroom. So the flipped classroom is nothing like just ask student watch the video, after that you give an exam. It's nothing like that. After student watch videos, when they come back to the classroom, you need to recap, then following by some activities. So for example, Kahoot or problem discussions or some quiz or some problem solving process. So let students to be engaged. And the one thing I frequently do is that I will have some extra egg, 彩蛋, into the video. So do you have ever seen like the live video to selling things? The idea is that when the people selling things, they have live video, sometimes they will have, okay, now we have only 5 minutes. If you pay right now, you can get 50% discount or something like that, right? So in my video, I also have embedded a QR code. So during I have give the student, you need to watch the video during what period. So if you watch the video and you find the QR code, scan it, you have your student ID, and then you get bonus again. So this is the one thing. I will cut the bonus, the Google Sheet, just on time. So for the students who have watched the video, who don't watch the video, you can easily distinguish about that. You can also have some statistics about that. And this is, of course, yeah, here we go.
You keep giving away bonus. I mean, what is the up limit for the bonus? I mean,
no unlimited.
All information.
Yeah.
I mean, will it become dilute? I mean, and make bonus.
Okay, so the idea is that I give the bonus time. I do not directly tell students what actually the score is, but I promise them the score will be directly translated into your semester score. And what I did usually is like 10 points, or even a little bit more, a little bit less, depends on the student's points. But I will always show the cases. If you are something like 50 or something to pass the course, you do not do a very good job on the regular test, but you do a lot of bonus, you probably can pass. And for students who get 58 or 59 without any bonus, you will keep 58 or 59. So I will show them the case. And of course, this range you can do a dynamic adjust, but I will always keep students updated for who get the most bonus at this time, what a bonus count it is. So student will just try to accumulate it, everything. And I did not get any complaint because I make it as a monotonic increasing function. So who get higher bonus will always get a higher score translated into their semester score. And of course, this choice up to you. You are not enforced to do that. Yeah, so this is my policy. Yeah, very good, very good question. All right, so as you can see, we have a lot of activities here, and also we have quiz. Oh, by the way, for the quiz, I will also come out with a roll call. So the idea is that for the first question, I give 60 points. And this is not a regular question. This is like a fun question. For example, the question is like, if you get this attendance score, if you accidentally pollute your desktop by Mark Penn. So which of the following items you should use to remove it? So I give the soy sauce, give the wasabi, give the ketchup, give the water. So actually the answer is wasabi, and because there are some reasons, so I will explain the reason. Of course, this is completely not related to the course, but it's like a code knowledge for students. So after the semester, some students say, oh, okay, actually in this course I learned a lot of very fun and interesting knowledge about that. Yeah, so this is the one thing I designed for the quiz. And also I have some discussions, and they have showing their results, and of course this is like when they have discussions, they try to answer questions. So
on the essay itself, or they focus on the new contribution of the learning mechanism. 它是比较 focus 在说这个句号 A 比较像是修改这个 file 比较多，但是它比较像是说是在算是改善这个 processing 这个 comprehension process 比较好奇。
So as you can see, you can encourage students to speak English. If some students speak, and the following students will speak. And if the student have afraid of speaking English, I will always encourage students, you can use English to speak first, and then followed by Chinese to repeat again. So people will always get your information. And also this is like the gaming process, and this is like the gaming process. And also I frequently, not frequently, actually I give the sorry about it. I give the student my IG account at the very beginning. But usually I will not talk it, I was looking about what they are doing. So actually a lot of students will engage in showing a lot of related things around our course. So finally, we figure out that for flipped classroom and TAs, they are very important things for students. So again, one more important thing is that you need to build your own TA team. And for me, actually, for like 130% courses, I usually hire 10 TAs. And I will always have a TA meeting every week. And luckily, I get a funding from Ministry of Education, so I provide a dinner. So they are very happy to come and have like 1 hour discussion. So any week before class, I run all the activities with TAs, so all the TAs have an idea what happens here. And when it's spread TA into the classroom, they can do a very good help about handling the activities and help students to do the grouping, discussion, and even sometimes answer questions from students. All right, so finally, I'm almost run out of time. So very quickly, very beginning, we need to speak slow and make sure students understand you. And do not forget EMI is only 70%, just in worst case, speak some Chinese is not like the very evil thing. So feel free to speak Chinese in a very, very hard portion of your class. And also, as I just say, make OCW for students. And also we develop a lot of comprehensive homework packages provided by TA. So this is why this is important to build a TA team. And also, anytime when you find some student do a very good job, do not hesitate to invite the student come to the stage and demonstrate their achievements. And of course, I will give a bonus again. Yeah. And of course, this is like the bonus system, play game, flip classroom, and timer is always very important. And the last thing I want to share is about this one. It's about a dictionary. So most of the students, when they learn EMI, they feel very difficult is about the vocabulary. And some students, of course, they will check the vocabulary at the very beginning, but if you put it in the iPad, you find some words that actually you don't know what is the meaning is. You need to switch back to your dictionary, find the words and come back. But during this time, actually, your teacher probably will talk three, four sentences later. Yeah, so actually, this is not a good thing. So I will ask students to make their own dictionary, print it out, put it aside to your iPad. So anytime when you listen to a keyword you have never no idea. For example, when I talk about, oh, so this is a constant. I have no idea what constant is. So quickly follow, oh, constant, C started, C constant, 常数. Okay, so this is 常数. So I know the meaning, so student can engage the most smoothly. So this is one way. And at the very beginning, you probably need to make an example for the dictionary for student. And after that, ask student to make their own. Yeah, so this is one thing. Alright, so finally, I really appreciated that during my entire course development process, I get a lot of supporting from our education center, and also we get some project funded, and also we get supported by Fulbright, and also I get a lot of training events, and this is very good for me. And also I am one of the batch of teachers who use ChatGPT very early. So I started using it when it was 3.5. Yeah, it's like a very old version. Yeah, so always try to get a ChatGPT, and this is a good teacher for you or a good mentor for you. And by the way, I'm lucky enough that when I do the EMI, I do a very good job. So I got invited by Czech Republic during our joint project. So I also deliver a course there, and of course in the international EMI, they will have the other challenges. I'm going to discuss it later for next talk if I get opportunity. And finally, these are some words I actually get from offering the EMI course and do the innovative course like designing. I think this is also one way for some young faculty members. Of course, research is important, but if you pay more time on teaching, you probably can have good image to some top students. And when top students come to you, they can help to do a better research. So this is my strategy. So concluded, EMI course is a good way to build some resources, especially we have so many fundings related to EMI. And for developing teachers or faculties like me, it's a good opportunity. You can engage around the world. And of course, I really appreciate a lot of reviewers supporting my project, and also a lot of senior professors share their experience to me. And also, you need a very good assistant to handle some administrative process. This is also important. And of course, our research and TA team, they help me really a lot. So time's up. Before I finish the talk, I'm going to show you one video which is recorded 2 years ago when I got the the outstanding teaching award from National Central University 2 years ago.
The art of teaching is not to teach skills while creating motivating and inspiring week. Join ETSUE in 2019. Keep looking for a way to inspire students and explore the beauty of the world. So I learn, I think, I repetition myself from campus community. I explore teaching methods from China, from Taiwan to overseas. I think a way of inspiring and developing distinctive teaching framework for double E. In horizontal and vertically connection to the courses, we develop deeper learning with recent events and play games during teaching. We designed more than 200 exercise problems and constructed a 24/7 online job platform for real-time practice. So students motivated, engaged, and enjoy the learning. Anything you did, they practice with hands. Discussions and demonstrations. They identify the problem, overcome experiments, and enjoy the joy of success. Students must with confidence, show their opinions, present their results, and enjoy the discussions. So they step ahead from classroom to the stage of the world and receive the award they deserve.
我觉得老师教学非常具有热忱，然后他的课程内容对我有非常多的启发，让我受益良多。
金老师的教学方式让人会印象深刻，从互动，然后回答问题，然后都会让我学到很多。
Our hardworking students, I also appreciate for the automation and the supporting from projects. With the supporting of students, the journey of teaching will continue. I teach, I learn, I enjoy.
Okay, I'm Andy Chen from National Central University, and thank you for your joining.
All right, thank you very much for such a wonderful talk. It's very, very engaging. Now we have like around 5 minutes left, so we're gonna open it up for questions and answers for the audience. And do you have any questions or comments or suggestions? This is a very good timing for us to interact with Professor Chen. Okay, so anyone?
So you can ask in English, 中文可以，台语嘛会通，客家也可以。日本語も大丈夫です。Any questions? You're very welcome. So I think today actually we provide a very rich content. It's actually a little bit beyond like regular EMI course because they are also engaged with some innovative teaching methodologies as well as like grouping strategy and how to do a lot of interactions. And of course, as just mentioned by previous professors, building a TA team and also get sufficient funding, it takes time. So I would say when I was like the first year, second year faculties, it spent me almost all weekend to develop all everything. But now it's much better, yeah, because now my team knows what happens and they will train their junior TA, so it will go to a positive loop. But at the very beginning, probably need to put a lot of effort, and I would say this will be very, very worth to put on it. So besides your research, actually you can have a very good like teacher records during the process. Yeah, this is also my personal experience sharing. So any other questions? Any other questions?
We have
questions?
We have one.
Right, we have one. We have one. Wonderful. Thank you.
I don't have a question. You're doing a very good talk. I just want to share some experience. For those students for EMI, I think we can separate into two groups. First one is they want to, and second one is don't want to take the course. For those don't want to, I think that's just the incentive that just travel around the world. I think better related to their career. Like you can tell them that their job market is not only in Taiwan. Taiwan is too small, and eventually they will go anywhere. Just like Hong Kong and Singapore, those students, their job market is in the whole world. So you need to take EMI students. That's for those do not want to take the course. For those want to but not able to, that's because they went into. So I think my way is to share. At the very beginning, I use more Mandarin to teach. I mean, for those important part, I use more Mandarin. But as the class going on, I use less and less Mandarin. So those students will feel comfortable in the class. That's my experience to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think this is also a very, very good strategy because at the very beginning, students stay in their comfort zone. And you try to move slower, not directly switch to a completely non-comfort zone. So probably students will get more engaged. So very appreciated for your very good teaching strategy. I very like it. Any other questions? All right.
All right. Once again, let's thank the speaker of today, Professor Chen Yuguan. Okay. I think we are all coming from different disciplines. I think some of us are coming from engineering background, some are from management background, and some are from liberal arts and social sciences. So we all have different takeaway from today's talk. And my takeaway from today's talk is a successful EMI teacher is the one who is willing to invest efforts into making the EMI classes fun. That include using different techniques to foster, using gestures to foster interaction, use different techniques like ODIR to make the class more engaging, and also several other techniques. Okay, so that's my takeaway. What about your takeaway? So I'm gonna leave this question to you, okay, as the homework for you guys. Okay? So.